All right, today what we're going to be doing is we're going to go through some settings. First start off with the 6 series. What I want to make sure is that as I'm changing the general default price for this listing is I want to make sure that I delete any of the custom pricing that I have. And generally, I'm changing the prices midweek, Monday or Tuesday to Wednesday to Thursday. So usually, like in this case, I think I changed it from Tuesday to Thursday. And so just want to make sure that everything's all good, no custom pricing. So when I reset the default and I set discounts based on that default, that everything's consistent. I have in the past set my discounts and forgot, thinking that I'm setting the price, the default price for the entire month or for any available days, and I forget that I have lowered pricing during the week, my custom pricing. So I try to make it a habit to always make sure that I clear those out as much as possible. Does it sometimes slip? Yeah, when you're changing these prices dynamically and throughout the day, you tend to slip and you tend to forget what days you did set, especially if you're setting something out a month and a half out, which lately I have done that just to see if I can get some dates locked in. I've also done change future dates, change pricing on future dates when another car or multiple cars have gotten bookings within that day, right? Or within those dates. So that's another big reason why I'm looking a month to almost 2 months ahead, changing prices, setting custom prices for specific dates. So here, what I'm going to do now is I'm just again go down the listings. We got the 6 series down. Now I'm going to look at my blue X4, and this one here is set at 101. And again, that's right at the middle. You know, the low that I've seen this car go for is $72. At the 70-30 split, 70% of $72 is actually $50. And so that's really how I came up with the number. I wanted to make sure that each day equaled at $50, and if it was the lowest, but it was out 4 or 5 times a week, right, on average, and offering low mileage usually was the idea, the default idea. $72, low mileage, like 100 miles per day, and pocketing 50, which means at 100 miles we're at about 50 cents per mile. And that's what the system will automatically charge as well too, or that's what you'll get from what they charge, because they'll be based off of that 72 cents. It's probably 72 cents actually, because it's $72 for 100 miles. So I believe that comes out to 72 cents is what they get charged, and you get 50%. Actually, stand corrected, you actually get more than that. I think you get 90% unless that's changed. And who knows, sometimes that does change, I feel. But here's the deal on this car, the X4, is without using the pricing hack, the out-of-state address pricing hack, it's probably not going to let me go or keep my price at 101 once I set my discounts. So we'll go ahead and change it. I'll make sure that if I'm getting 150, I'd like to keep it at the 3, but as far as trip duration required, I'm going to put any to try to target some of these, try to make it more available on by search. And if you're seeing more, of course, there's a better opportunity for you to book more. So that's another reasons why you would go outside of your defaults to be able to get more exposure, not necessarily just to get more sales, but of course, more exposure tends to mean more sales. So now I'm going to go into my silver X4. Here's what's cool about the silver X4. The silver X4, it's my second one, right? It's the second X4, pretty much almost identical. There's a couple little differences, except for color, right? And interior color as well too. But this one I can set differently, right? I can discount it or go higher. I can also keep it the same. Keeping it the same, sometimes I feel like I'm being lazy when I'm keeping it the same, because I'm not really testing out the market of what could happen, right? I'm not setting one high and then seeing if I can get once that one books, seeing if I can get a higher price, right? And ultimately, if you do get the higher price, if you can get it, you should get it. So here, again, I'm going to have a little bit of difference in the settings so that I can see which side wins. Plus, I will have different targets for these cars. depending on how well they do. Usually it's neck to neck, but a lot of times when there's months where one is absolutely killing it because it hit its numbers, I'm able to kind of test out some different theories as well too. Is lower pricing or mid-range pricing good enough for someone to say that there's value there while still being able to restrict their mileage down to 100 miles so we can optimize the mileage, right, consumption, or maximize what we're making per mile overall? And so those are just a few things to think about, and that's why I suggest having always multiples of one type of car and just switching up maybe even the colors and things like that. It seemed to work out, and if I was going to say that we did something very right in the past 4.5 years, that's buying multiple Corvettes, having 3, 4, 5, 6 Corvettes. So I just went to the C8, but while doing the C8, I wanted to make sure that the math was right on this one. So I'm gonna pull up my calculator, and I want to make sure that what does 386 bring to me? That's what I have it set right now, and this one comes out to at 70%. It comes out to 270. Now the lowest I'm willing to take, or I want to take for this car, is a $250. 270 is cool, but the $20 really wouldn't. I mean, it wouldn't make me any richer, or wouldn't make me any poorer if I don't, with that $20. So what I want to do is I want to make sure I have it clean, right? If I get 2-day booking and they don't opt in for a 3-day, I want to make sure I get $500, and so that comes down to $250. So let's set the price at this. It gives it a little bit more of a discount, might look a little bit better. If I hit it correctly, then I should hit 2 or 3 days out of the week, which at $750 per week gives me about $3,000 per month. That's what you saw in the calculator there. And so again, just kind of going through the listings, making sure that everything's set correctly, especially on the mileage. If I'm at that level, I don't want to definitely be giving 500 miles. I don't want to set 500 miles, which originally set for a higher pricing, and then just change the pricing and not lower the miles. Now, of course, when that situation happens, the car tends to get booked, so that also identifies where the market is at least where this car is at with its market or within its market. So again, I'd love to have multiple C8s to see what kind of changes can be made. I think from there, again, let me just look at some of these other listings, making sure everything's cool. I'll go into the Vanderhall and make sure that that's on, just over $200, but just want to make sure that everything's set. Shortest possible trip, $200. This one should get it. This one gets $286. And $286, people are finding great value in this car. Plus, just like the C8, the Vanderhall is very hard to list. In fact, I think most, or if any, hosts cannot list a Vanderhall Venice. And that's unfortunate because it's a great experience and people love this car. But the C8's the same way, right? Currently, right now, there's a lot of VIN numbers. I've been checking a lot of VIN numbers for cars, potentially cars that I find for sale that I've reached out to just to try to check. And worst case scenario on these cars is you find one at a good deal, and this actually just happened. You find one at a good deal, you ask them if you do a VIN check, or you do a VIN check, and you do a VIN check by listing it under, asking the customer for a VIN, telling them what you're doing it for, and everybody's been cool about it. Once you get the VIN, then you can test it. So a lot of these C8s are not able to list because there's an open recall. And from what I've been hearing from the dealership, parts are real hard to get. So that's going through my listings today. I'll be sure to share more, leave a comment, and let me know what you want to see. Thanks for watching.